Hey, welcome to Three Picks. Today we are getting the band back together. We we will be picking three characters to form a band each from three different movies today on Three Picks. Stick around.
Can't just pick one. You can't just pick two. Oh no, you gotta pick three, or we ain't picking you. Three Picks. The podcast.
What are you laughing at, Clint? For all the audio listeners at home.
I just have the giggles.
Clint, I'm excited about today. We're about to RUN and an OFT.
Dude, we're putting the band back together. We're on a mission from God. There's been a lot of movies lately and over the past, God, I don't know. I mean, it's really been plaguing cinema since the 70s, these movies based off of famous musicians and their powerful stories, which often turn into melodramatic, cheesy, silly, taking themselves way too seriously stories.
The music biography is probably one of my absolute least favorite kinds of movie.
It's rough. I mean, there's some good ones. I think there's some. The issue is it's one of those genres where there's a couple of great ones and then really, really shitty ones.
I was thinking this morning, I was like, what music biography do I really enjoy? I was even looking through my collection, and I think I actually...
Do you own any?
I think I actually own one music biography, and it was only because it was like, I think it was like a Half Price Books random Steelbook 4K pickup, and I've got Elvis.
Oh.
Which is an oddity in and of itself.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks's it's Tom Hanks' worst performance
He's in a
of
fat
all
suit,
time.
right?
I don't know what he was doing in that movie. I remember him talking about it on a podcast, and I got so excited about it. And then whenever I saw it, I was like, Tom Hanks finally did something just really, really terrible. Really, really terrible. And then we had the Austin Butler accent forever and ever, the dialect, he couldn't get rid of it. And plus, these movies are way too fucking long.
Well, because you're trying to, let's see if we can squeeze someone's entire career and life into it. I think one of my favorites is Rocket Man, the Elton John movie, because it doesn't shy away from his shittier personality aspect, like when he was deep in the throes of addiction. And it also does a good job of adding fantastical elements in the way that he always did in his shows and his music. To me, like, they don't put the personality enough of the artist in the movie. It's just very like documentary, docudrama style, and that's boring. I like the ones that take chances, are a little riskier, and then the funny ones, especially if it's a fictional person, even better.
Yeah, well, and I'll say this. I love music. I listen to music. I was a director of fine arts for quite some time. I have an appreciation for music. I know how to play the recorder. Well, at least one song. I can play Hot Cross Buns, and I think I still can to this day.
And the skin flute.
The skin flute, quite a bit. To the point, I've been guilty of being raw quite a bit.
No.
Play that skin flute till it's raw. Isn't that what they say in the clubs? I was over at one of the, there's a jazz club that's not too far from me. And I was talking to one of the musicians the other night, and he's like, yeah, man. Anytime your skin flute gets raw, you just take a couple days off. Take a couple days off, and you get right back in the swing of things, right back in the stroke of things. And it's a fantastic feeling.
Man, those jazz musicians, they know what's up.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so I was trying to think, because my forte in the fine arts has always been theater, acting, that kind of thing, and never really got into music, cannot read music. One of my other major experiences in music was when I was auditioning for grad school. I did go to grad school for an MFA for a hot second, one semester, and then I got kicked out for being sarcastic, believe it or not. Can you fucking believe that?
Can't believe they kicked you out.
And which, now that I think about it, very closely tied to one of the movies that we are talking about today. But for that particular grad student audition, we had to sing a song. And I am not a musical guy. In fact, I hate most musicals. I've never been trained. I can carry a tune kind of every once in a while. But I auditioned for grad school and got in singing the parodied version of Big Rock Candy Mountain that was popularized by Hootie and the Blow. I don't know if it was Hootie and the Blowfish or just Hootie back in like 2004, 2005 when he sang the jingle for the Tender Crisp Bacon Cheddar Ranch.
Wow.
I auditioned in front of 500 people singing. I got up there and I said, when my tummy starts a rumbling and I'm jonesing for a treat, I close my eyes for a big surprise. The Tender Crisp Bacon Cheddar Ranch. I love the Tender Crisp Bacon Cheddar Ranch because they grow on trees. And I went through the whole fucking thing, and people fucking loved it. So.
Dude, comedy.
That's one of my few experiences with music. I would not say that I have good taste in music. All throughout high school, I was mostly a boy band type of guy, and I thought for me, that was half I secret really enjoyed the music, and half of it I thought, I was like, man, I'm gonna get so many chicks if I like the Backstreet Boys. Kind of true. It was a little true, and even to this day.
There's no guilty music,
Mm-hmm.
guilty pleasure music. Like, you just, whatever you like is what you like. That's fine.
I love your outlook on that, because I have so much judgment for certain bands and
as someone who records and puts out music, I'm like, just the fact that you did it, like, fucking A, good job for you. Even if I don't like it, I'm like, I know how painstaking that process is, so I'm glad you did it.
Yeah. So I guess I've just never seen. I've never been that attached to a musical artist that I know enough about. Like, I can hear, people can talk about the Beatles forever and ever. They can talk about Billy Joel or whoever. And I'm like, I know that one. I know the song, and I have an immense amount of respect for them. But honestly, like, the music biographies I want to see, like, give me a Hans Zimmer biography.
Like, I found a trash can and I put a violin string across the top of it, and it made this sound, and it reminded me of the Joker.
This is every impression is starting to sound just like a different Muppet.
I remember watching, like, whenever you created the sounds for, like, Joker and Dark Knight and even, like, the Dune stuff. That dude is like, he's like,
I went to the junkyard and I saw all the possibilities.
The man loves a drone, loves a droning sound.
So I would love a music biography of, like, Hans Zimmer just, like, fucking creating shit.
I would dig that. Maybe that's late in life Bradley Cooper territory.
There you go.
Do the Hans Zimmer movie. Yeah, there's a lot of bad ones, a lot of good ones. Bohemian Rhapsody, that's a bad one. That's a bad one. That's still maybe one of the quickest. This movie has already aged poorly. Within like a year of it coming out, everyone was like, "Whoa,
yeah!" And
what were we thinking?
I thought the genre was almost dead because you had Bohemian Rhapsody, you had Rocket Man, I think that same year.
Yeah.
And then I don't even remember, but like over the past 3 or 4 years, there's been just like 3 to 5 music biopics that just like totally tanked. I mean, they had the... Was there
Marley?
There was a Bob Marley one.
There was a Hendrix one that wasn't released. It was filmed with Andre 3000.
Well, they actually filmed that?
I'm almost positive they filmed the whole thing, and then the family... his estate put the stop to it.
What else? There was Amy, right?
Amy. Yeah. Oh yeah, Amy Winehouse. I didn't watch it.
No, the documentary was great. The movie, I fell asleep, turned off, never tried it again.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one. They got the more successfully the Dylan, biopic from your favorite actor, Amy Chalamet.
I promised myself no Chalamet.
Okay, good. Good. I liked the Dylan movie more than I thought I would, which I didn't love it, but I was going in expecting to hate it.
Uh-huh.
But that's really how low the bar is, I think, on these movies, that if I don't hate it, it's the experience is, that's not bad. So today's 3 picks isn't necessarily picking our favorite music movies. We thought it would be more fun to assemble a 3-piece band out of our 3 picks. So we will each be picking a movie and a musician from that movie. So the rules were A musician could be a real person or fictional. Obviously, it's a lot more fun with fictional. And they had to actually show that they're a musician in some form in the movie. Otherwise, it was open season, and you could pick any of them. So, Chris, who's your first draft pick in your
All
band?
right. So with each of these, I'm going to talk a little bit about the movie first. Then I'm going to tell you who I have selected
Nice.
as my band member. Clint, I got to tell you, I've put together an amazing band. We are going to create beautiful, beautiful music together. My first pick is a Woody Allen movie. Came out in 1999. It is about jazz guitarist Emmett Ray, set in the 1930s. This is Sweet and Lowdown. It stars Sean Penn as Emmett Ray, Samantha Morton. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he got lost at TV, but Anthony LaPaglia was one of my favorite actors growing up that I just don't see anymore. You've got Uma Thurman, John Waters, Gretchen Mol, lots of people in this movie, Brad Garrett. And this was a movie, this might have been the first Woody Allen movie that I really watched. And at the time, and we got to think of we're traveling back to the 90s, and I don't want to get into Woody Allen territory necessarily.
No,
That's
he
not
might
this
want to get
podcast.
into you, but we don't
He
want to
may want to get
him.
into me. We haven't met yet, but anyway,
You're much too old.
That's for another podcast. So we are separating art from the artist just a little bit here, but Sweet and Lowdown. It was one of my favorite movies whenever I was in high school for some reason, and
normal behavior.
Part of it, and this will give you some insight to my personality, and it's given me a lot of insight into myself as well, because there is such a thin line between being a really normal person that has just some hot takes and being a complete psychopath. And I'm just on the other edge, I like to think, most of the time, because for some reason, the way that Emmett Ray interacted with people spoke to me. Emmett Ray is a very narcissistic, knows exactly what he wants. He's practiced his craft for a very, very long time, and he knows exactly what he wants. So, for example, Emmett Ray, he likes to spend his free time going down to the dump and shooting rats. He interacts with all of these beautiful women in this movie, and they're like, "Oh, you want to do this? You want to do that?" And he's like, "No, you want to go to the dump and shoot some rats?" I'm like, I understand that. I understand the compulsion to go, watching trains too, man. I'm like, I would actually suggest that. If I lived like down in Galveston and we had the train museum, dude, I'd be going to that fucking train museum all the fucking time. He even says to one of the women, he's like, I just got to be free. And I'm like, man, that's me too. I cannot be held down. I want to do what I want whenever I want. And that includes going and watching trains and shooting rats.
Yeah. You would end up shooting your foot or something.
And this movie is responsible for introducing me to Django Reinhardt.
Yeah.
The famous jazz guitarist. And if you've never listened to any Django Reinhardt, or that name you're not familiar with that name and connecting it to the music, go look up some Django Reinhardt. Really, really, really cool stuff. Now, I am not intelligent enough as a music connoisseur to speak about this music with any kind of respect other than I like it a whole lot. But, he also has, I think about death a lot because I'm 42, but I think now I identify as a 90-year-old.
Wow.
And so I often think about, on my tombstone, what should be written. And I've got a couple of different options, but this movie provided me with one. Towards the very, very beginning of this movie, Emmett Ray, I guess he's a human trafficker as well. Kind of.
He's in all sorts of...
Emmett Ray is a very terrible person.
He's bad.
But he tells somebody, hey, a pimp doesn't need business cards. And I think that would be a really cool thing to put on a tombstone. He thinks terrible things happen to people whenever they're in love. He also just says, I am not the marrying kind. So Sweet and Lowdown, we basically follow Emmett Ray on some adventures. There's a lot of cool shots of like a fairway, like a boardwalk, and he's got a gig there. And he encounters eventually Uma Thurman, who wants to she's a reporter reporter, right? And she's like
Yeah.
wanting to like really dig, one of my favorite parts of this movie is Uma Thurman is like so enthusiastic about the mystery behind the genius of Emmett Ray. And she's like, tell me about this, tell me about that. And he's just like giving these like plain answers. Like there's nothing to figure out.
No.
And I guess that's an aspect of it that I relate to. I go out on dates. I've known many women in my lifetime, and they're always trying to figure me out. And they're like, Chris, there's got to be some, like for example, just a few months ago, I lead a very simple life right now. All right. I go eat a burger. I do yoga. I watch movies. And now I am a professional podcaster with millions and millions of listeners.
Oh,
and
man, could you have them listen to our podcast sometime? That would be awesome.
And they're like, so what do you do? And I'm like, I just fucking told you.
Yeah, that's it.
This is what I do. This is my very, very simple life. And so
the secret.
As Uma Thurman is like trying to figure out Emmett Ray, and she's like this and that, I'm like, that's like every date I've ever been on.
Unfortunately, Uma Thurman was not there.
No, I sure fucking wish she was. There's a lot of like cool, I don't know, there's a lot of theatricality in here. I really love the costume, the time period, the way people talk. And I think Samantha Morton's character is just one of the sweet, she's mute.
Yeah.
And forgive me, it's been, we had to take a couple of weeks off due to entirely my fault. And so it's been about 2 or 3 weeks since I've watched this. And so she's a mute. I think Samantha Morton gives a wonderfully sweet performance in this.
Yeah.
Definitely worth the view. This is overall, this is a sweet movie. It's a funny movie. It's a short movie, but it drags just a bit, I think, in the middle. Yeah. And your mileage is going to vary with the character of Emmett Ray. Now, that aside, let's talk a little bit about the music. Now, he's got a lot of great performances here. He has an appreciation for theatricality. There's this whole sequence where he wants to be raised. They build a moon. And he wants to be lowered from the rafters playing guitar on this moon. And it's a funny, awesome sequence that just goes to shit right away. And it's like a hard cut to him like dumping shit and setting shit on fire behind the club. He's a drunk. I cannot have him on my band. So I am choosing, in one scene, there's a guy in the background that's playing the saw. And I was like, that is exactly what we need. We need the dude in the background that is playing the saw. So my first choice is the dude playing the saw from Sweet and Lowdown.
He doesn't have a name.
I couldn't find. I don't think so.
Nice.
I'm looking for man playing saw on there.
It's a real instrument. It's a real thing. It's fallen out of, it's not in vogue anymore. But I'm sure there's someone out there who still plays the saw. So
right.
So that's a good start.
And I think this is a nice pick with you've got another. So this is a fictional music biop. You've got another fictional music biopic coming up. This one is this is a sincere fictional music biopic, and you've got more of a bit of a parody one coming up a little bit later. And you had never seen this before, right?
No, it's been on my list for a long time. I was ironically, when I was really young, was a huge Woody Allen fan. The ignorant bliss of childhood.
Cut that out of context.
Yeah.
Put it on social media.
Yeah. I love Woody Allen. I loved his movies. I still love a lot of his movies. He seems to be a real piece of shit. And I think it's hard not to watch something like Sweet and Lowdown and go, oh, wow, he's so good at like writing an asshole who's bad to women.
You see that connection? Yeah.
I was like, wait a second. He's really good at this. But he also, criticisms of his deviancy aside, he's an accomplished jazz musician himself, Woody Allen, and plays in New York all the time, or used to, clarinet, I believe. So you can tell in this movie that he loves jazz music, he loves the history, and it's very clever the way he cuts in the talking head documentary format, talking about Emmett Ray as if he were a real musician, and it's believable because of the care and love Woody Allen has for the genre. And Django Reinhardt, I think every guitar player goes through a Django phase at one point or another. He's still someone that guitar players talk about in rarefied air as one of the greatest guitar players who ever lived. I found one of his CDs in half price books when I was a kid and was introduced to him that way. It was just a cheap buy, and I was blown away at that guitar playing. And I tried to learn some of it. I think it's one of those things every guitar player, no matter how rock and roll or metal or country you are, it's like, oh, Django, I wish I could do that.
Yeah, this along with one of my other picks today, my music taste all of a sudden went from 90s boy bands to like jazz and folk music. And I started listening to shit from like the 1930s, the 1940s.
There's good stuff.
My mom must have just been like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid?
Maybe she liked it, you know? Let's call her out. Here,
I'll ask her tonight.
I'll ask her tonight. Hey.
Say hi to her for me.
Well, good first pick. Not Emmett Ray, although the movie is all about Emmett Ray. The Sweet and Lowdown, the Saw player. Awesome. Great. I'm really excited to hear what sonic scape you're doing. Yeah. It's like a drone. It's like a weird droning.
Yeah.
Zimmer. It's very Hans Zimmer. If Hans Zimmer had been born in that generation,
Wait.
That's the shit he would have been doing.
Didn't he play the Saw for Dark Knight?
I'm not a Nolan fanboy. You gotta
Have
ask.
you ever played the Saw?
No, I've never played the Saw. I've played so many different instruments in my life. Never played the Saw.
You gotta get on that, man. I hear Saw music is the next big thing.
It would be. I'll just be a one-man Saw traveling artist called Seesaw, just go from state to state. So don't steal that. In case those millions of podcast listeners that you have somewhere.
The millions and millions.
My first pick is 20 years before Sweet and Lowdown. This is in the late 70s. I've never met a person that doesn't at least like this movie, but most of them love it. This is the Muppet Movie. This is the James Frawley 1979 classic. The Muppets had already been in the cultural zeitgeist between SNL appearances and the eventual like Muppet Show, and they're now, I mean, they're ubiquitous. They've been through so many different generations, so many different movies. It was 2011 when they rebooted it, and then recently they just brought back the Muppet Show with that Sabrina Carpenter episode. I don't know if you saw that.
Wait, we got Sabrina Carpenter
It was
and the
not
Muppets together.
I know it was not advertised well, but on Disney Plus there is a Muppet Show revival, one episode off.
Re-up that subscription just to watch that.
It's freaking great just to see Sabrina Carpenter and Miss Piggy
What's it rated?
Together. So it actually got criticized for being
Shut up.
No, this is funny. It was the big criticism of it coming back from Pearl Clutchers was, well, this is adult humor, and having Sabrina Carpenter, it's like, hey, newsflash. The Muppets always had PG-13-esque humor.
Oh my God, yeah.
They started for adults, not for kids. It's stupid.
Was she having like girl talk with Miss Piggy about how much she likes getting fucked?
Yeah, exactly. There's some
gotcha.
good, there's some good references there. I do like Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah,
Of course not. Emmett Ray wouldn't like Sabrina Carpenter either. She didn't want to shoot one rat or watch one train.
Depends on how much she likes train.
I think she probably will write a song about trains in some form, but we don't need to go into that. Okay, so the Muppet Movie. This is classic. This movie starts with one of, if not the best song ever written for a movie. It's got to be in the conversation. Rainbow Connection. Beautiful, beautiful song. This movie starts with it. Not only that, it starts with like a helicopter. There's no drones. This is an actual helicopter shot flying in over like the swamp and then going down and to see Kermit, singing Rainbow Connection. Killer way to start a movie. And then the first cameo right off the bat is Dom DeLuise.
Dom DeLuise.
Yeah, rest in peace, Dom DeLuise. I loved Dom. So good. And this movie pretty much has every famous comedian from that era pop up in a cameo. It's kind of crazy, but the whole crux of it is Kermit. He wants to go to Hollywood and pursue a career, but it's so funny on his way there. This is genuinely the conflict of the story is that there is a man who runs a restaurant whose specialty is frog legs, and it's Charles Durning in a great performance, and he's chasing Kermit down because he wants Kermit to be the spokesperson for his frog leg restaurant. I mean, it's crazy.
I just wrote down frog legs. Horrific.
Yeah, it's hilarious, but it's also super dark. And it's funny how cutesy it is when they're doing their little very cartoon Looney Tunes-esque chases of Kermit. It's like it's literally they want him to promote his kind being eaten.
It's so bizarre.
Like that's crazy. But on the way, he meets a whole, all the Muppets, the classic like lineup. He meets Gonzo, who I guess is in a relationship with a chicken. That's a whole other.
I relate to Gonzo.
Yeah, of course. And Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, like all of it. But in my favorite scene, probably because me being a musician, and one that always stuck out is he meets the band, the Electric Mayhem.
Fuck yeah.
They're like in a church, and the Electric Mayhem band is just they're still cool. I would still buy an Electric Mayhem album if they put that out. But you've got Animals, the most famous of Dr. Teeth and the Electrical Mayhem band, Animal, and you have Janice on guitar. Janice seems to be some sort of non-binary individual ahead of their time. I don't know what the official lore is around Janice, but
did not look up the lore on any of them.
Janice would be non-binary. I'm just gonna put that out there. It seems like it. Zoot and Lips. These are all band members.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, I want to be in a band or just be a part of music in general, just so I can have a really cool name.
Yeah, Zoot. I mean, what? That's so cool. Like, man. Yeah, they knew what they were doing. And Dr. Teeth is funny. His full name, it's Dr. Gerald Teeth Jr. is Dr. Teeth's name.
Fantastic.
I know. And then Floyd Pepper on bass. He's the dude with the if you can't picture him, he's got the mustache, big mustache.
Oh, okay.
And the orange carrot nose on his face. And this movie, as a movie, I mean, it's a classic for a reason. It's genuinely hilarious. You have cameos from, I mean, you've got Milton Berle, Mel Brooks, Steve Martin, Dom DeLuise, as I said, Madeline Kahn.
Got some Orson Welles in there. Right?
Orson Welles, Elliot Gould, Richard Pryor. Carol Kane, Horace Leachman, Telly Savalas. Dude, there's so... Yeah, I know I'm even missing someone. Bob Hope. Bob Hope's in the County Fair. Yeah.
And this is kind of like a cultural relic because you've got like Telly Savalas. Most people today probably have no fucking clue who that is.
Yeah,
but
very true.
One of the things that struck me about this movie was the ongoing "you should try Hare Krishna" joke.
Yeah.
Like over and over and over.
And the music is great. There's some fun songs in this. I bought I think it's the British over in the UK. They have a Blu-ray collection it was like a 6-film collection of the Muppets, which I bought, and I was pleasantly surprised that when you pause the movie, if it's paused long enough, it'll start playing songs from the movie as you're waiting to hit play.
I'd forget to turn the movie back on.
I literally, when it hit the credits, I like paused it and then like started doing stuff around the house while the music was going. So I was like, fuck yeah. So yeah, this is a great movie, and I think it's a great place to start. For the first member of my band, I thought of this selection as very just how I would think of setting up a band. I wanted genres to be at least a little bit congruent in some way, that some musicians that felt like they could play together. And also, I thought it was cool that Floyd Pepper introduces Kermit to the band, and he's a bassist holding it down. I grew up with a bass player, my brother Chase. I love the bass, and Floyd Pepper is my first pick. Going to keep the rhythm solid.
The bass is the big one, right?
Well, if you're doing the jazz, the upright bass, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, he plays it like an electric guitar bass. But yeah, Floyd Pepper from the Muppet Movie, and just watch this movie. This is fun for all ages.
I'm so glad you picked this. I, for some reason, had not watched this movie in probably 25 to 30 years or so. And I gotta tell you, I'm kind of a voracious physical media addict these days, and like I'm like, give me a 4K. Is there a 4K of it? Is there a 4K of that? This is a movie I don't necessarily want on 4K.
Mm-hmm.
But for very, very personal reasons, not because I don't think it looks good or there's like a really bad transfer of it or something. No, it's that this movie held this was a part of my childhood growing up, was you had a VHS cabinet full of randomly recorded movies that you honestly had no idea where the fuck they came from.
Yeah.
And my introduction to the Muppet Movie as a child that I wore out on this VHS, we had the Muppet Movie recorded on VHS, and I watched the fuck out of this thing. And I don't know why. I'd seen it so much as a child, but honestly, these movies, like this one, Great Muppet Caper, Manhattan, all of these, I want these on like old ass recorded VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Because that's how I remember, like it was a little too polished almost for me, like I watched it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But I want this in like one of those old VHS situations. But
can you picture that?
And I still, to this day, I think Waka 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 is like where the fuck does that come from, man? It's such a wonderful,
It's so good.
Waka Waka Waka. Like
it's
where's it come from?
Because Fozzie Bear's supposed to be a stand-up comedian. That's what he wants to do. And back in the day, stand-up comedians weren't just assholes that like made fun of trans people. They used to be assholes who had catchphrases. And so Fozzie Bear is kind of like tongue-in-cheek, making fun and also celebrating that, like, he goes waka waka waka, like that was his catchphrase.
I need Miss Piggy energy in my life. That's the kind of energy I need. I love Miss Piggy. I am the embodiment of the two angry old men. Like that's just me.
Yes.
The two guys in the balcony. That's exactly who I am.
Did you see Ryan Gosling talking to that rock?
What'd you think about Project Hill? Let me tell you.
Yeah.
2.5 hours of Gosling talking to a rock, and we needed an IMAX screen for that?
Which we did.
We cannot get past this without pointing out the fact that Pappy O'Daniels is both in this movie and in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? The actor's name is escaping me.
Charles Durning.
Charles Durning.
It's great.
Plays literally the exact same character in this as he does in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I was coming, because I had not seen this since I saw Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? So that was that was 2000 or something like that?
Yeah.
And so as I'm watching this, I'm like, I don't think I was stoned. I don't think I was drunk at all. Like, none of that. I was like, why the fuck is Pappy O'Daniels in this movie?
Why is he chasing
Kermit? I do not remember this at all. But yeah, Charles Durning plays Pappy O'Daniels in the Muppet Movie.
He's so good.
And I've never read any trivia or anything referencing that. I've watched Oh Brother, Where Art Thou tons and tons of times and read trivia, watched documentaries, all this kind of stuff. No one ever points out that he's playing literally the exact same character.
Yeah, that's his specialty, Shake a leg, Junior. I love Charles Durning.
If I were picking a band member from this, it would probably be Rolf.
I almost picked Rolf.
His songwriting skills match again. He describes a lot of my life.
Yeah, I love Rolf, though, deserves it. The reason why it's so nerdy, because I was going to pick Rolf, and then I thought about it and I was like, Rolf is really more of like the guy in the lounge playing the piano, singing, and he has his own show. I don't want to put him with a band.
He's solo.
Yeah.
But what else? The whole motivation, we need more simple kind of motivations in movies like this, because what do we want? We just want to be on public television.
Yeah.
This is the whole thing here.
Yeah.
To get on public television.
Yeah. We
need to have simple goals.
I think that's why another band movie that came out in the last year, that Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie.
Yeah.
I fucking love that movie. It's hilarious. If you get a chance to go see it, rent it. I think it's available for rent right now, but it's going to come out on Blu-ray soon as well. And that movie is great. And it's just a very simple, it's just a band trying to get into a venue that they love in their town. I love these simple structures.
Absolutely.
And it's classic for a reason.
Talking about simple, we're going to go back to a simpler time, the 1990s. And my second pick comes from the classic starring Brendan Fraser, Steve Buscemi, and Adam Sandler. It is Airheads. This is another one I had not seen in so long, and there were so many cultural touch points, so many references that I didn't get whenever I was like 11 years old, whenever I was watching this. So the whole point of this is we've got Brendan Fraser, Steve Buscemi, Adam Sandler. They have this band called the Lone Rangers.
The Lone Rangers.
Which I believe at some point you do get Kurt Loder pointing out.
Yeah.
How can they be
Yeah.
Rangers if they're
Why is it
lone, which to
pluralized?
this day, just the thought of the Lone Rangers as a band name just cracks me up. But yeah, we got the Lone Rangers, struggling rock band in the 90s. This is still a celebration of very much leading the rock and roll life. And you got a couple of cameos by like Lemmy's in this quite a bit. Lemmy is God. You know what? I'd heard that phrase so much throughout life, and I'm such a big wrestling, or had been a big wrestling fan. Lemmy sings Triple H's entrance music, and so I've heard Lemmy is God like so much, and I had to be reminded that Lemmy is God is from this particular movie. So yeah, and what happened to living the rock and roll lifestyle? Like,
Dude.
Are there still bands out there or people out there trying to live the rock and roll style, or is that just gone?
No, I mean it happens, but you know, I think now with everyone's got phones, so you can't really live that style and be like, hey, look what I saw this guy do. Hey, look what I saw this guy do. You know.
So with this movie, I started writing down, oh, there's this, and there's a very strange amount of Die Hard references in this movie. Yeah. In fact, it takes place, and so this band decides to, in order to make it famous, they pull the big, I'm gonna commit a crime to become famous, and then we'll sell all of our records. So they go and they hold this radio station hostage. Comedy ensues, but this entire radio station, this entire complex, is right in front of the Fox building, which is the Nakatomi Tower.
Yeah.
In Die Hard, which is so weird to me because that was not terribly long after Die Hard. And it's like, does everyone not notice that is exactly Die Hard? And then one point in this movie, you've got not Keith Richards.
Keith Richards, nice. Hell yeah.
Michael Richards in a air duct with a lighter. Yeah. And I'm like, this is a weird, you get pounded over the head with Die Hard references in this. But there's so much very specific 90s stuff going on in this movie. Gosh, more so than I think any other. And I just started writing, instead of taking notes over the movie, over the musician, I just started pointing out, these are all the things that are in this movie that people of today, what do they call them? Gen Zers? Is it Gen Z?
Don't date yourself.
Betas? Zetas?
Betas.
I don't know.
All you betas out there.
If you were born in the last 15, 20 years, you may not know these things. But in the 90s, we had crash test dummies.
Yeah.
Prominently featured on the TV. Not only did we have crash test dummies, which were then turned into a toy line, but we also had the crash test dummies who sang the very famous song. Sing it, Clint.
No.
He said no. Toy guns. We used to have toy guns that actually looked like guns. Getting on the radio contests.
Whatever happened to that?
Right? Game Gear, Sega Game Gear. My favorite thing from the 90s, as far as before we like really started getting into computer hacking, we had like ATM hacking.
Yeah.
Where you'd put in your just put in your ATM card, and then he blows like soda on it and shit.
Yeah.
There's also this radio station is very Latin in, I don't know if you know that, but there is a very specific name for this type of style. It's called, I believe it's Global Village Coffee Design.
Okay.
GVC. Look it up.
Okay.
And it is that very, not quite deco-ish, but very, you know it when you see it. Like, in fact, to this day, I believe there's foam coffee cups that still have GVC kind of esque designs. Think about Starbucks in the late 90s, that kind of vibe. Like that was what was called GVC. Hagar slacks.
Yeah.
You ever own any Hagar slacks?
I'm sure I must have.
Oh, I sure did. Music executives.
Yeah, that's
not a thing
yeah.
anymore, is it?
No.
We had, so we've got a weird number of Ghostbusters in this movie as well. Ernie Hudson is in this.
Harold Ramis.
Ernie Hudson plays a patrolman that gets put in charge of a hostage situation.
It makes no sense.
And in general, I don't know if this was like a major commentary on the LAPD in the early days.
Which there was a lot going on there.
There was a lot going on there. That's another podcast. Trying to track someone down.
Yeah. Because you can just...
There were no cell phones.
Just call their cell phones.
Track someone down.
We're trying to find your girlfriend. Concert
tickets. Seattle bullshit. Turning the radio down when you called in.
Yeah. We
got Beavis and Butthead. What else? The Whiskey a Go Go. Easy listening music. What happened to easy listening? We don't listen easily anymore.
No, it's too hard. It's too hard to easy listen.
White Zombie. Rob Zombie as an actual artist.
Yeah, and
or a musician rather. Barbed wire tattoos.
And Michael McKean, man, his outfits.
Yeah,
the shirt he's wearing and the ponytail. Woo.
And this is a time where being a geek was frowned upon.
Yeah.
Well, like there's this whole sequence in this movie where he has to admit, shamefully, that he played Dungeons and Dragons in high school. In this day and age, that's like a badge of fucking honor.
Yeah, like it's literally one of the biggest properties. It's huge. I know so many people that played D&D now.
I feel more on the outskirts since I haven't played Dungeons and Dragons now. Back then I was like, those geeks.
You'd be good at it. It's acting. It's role playing. You'd be good at it.
So my pick for Airheads, which I had such a good time watching this movie.
I was not sure who you were picking because it's like you could pick either one of these guys.
Who do you think I'm gonna pick?
Is it the Sandman?
This character has a van, and I don't know how you have a band without a van.
That's a good point.
He's incredibly courteous. He's the most courteous character in this entire thing. He loves black people. He's just got this very quiet, cool thing going on. He is weirdly ripped in this movie.
Yeah, he is.
And he's very innovative. I'm picking Adam Sandler, Pip, the drummer of the Lone Rangers, as my selection here. And I think the thing that did kind of stand out to me the most in this movie was the entire time Adam Sandler is wearing this midriff, Homeboy's got a six-pack. What happened?
Where did that come from?
Like, I don't remember him ever being, like, even in, like, Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore. I guess because he's always just wearing big-ass... Does he have a six-pack under there still? Because he does not dress up for anything.
I think a literal six-pack now, like a beer.
But I was like, man, Adam Sandler's fucking hot in this movie.
Yeah, it's weird as it is to say it's like the hottest he's looked in a movie is Airheads. And he's sweet guy. He's that form of awkward, like not trying to be racist, but is definitely coming off as racist in his kindness.
Yeah.
And has some very funny interactions in the movie, especially with Reggie Cathy.
Oh yeah, we gotta point out. I was about to say we gotta point out Reggie Cathy anytime Reggie Cathy's in, which we've covered a lot of Reggie Cathy already.
He shows up a lot, and I love Reggie Cathy. So there's these movies like Airheads where certain lines I feel like just live rent free in the heads of musicians. If you grew up watching that movie, and Reggie Cathy, it's not appropriate, but I can't imagine. I mean, I couldn't put a number to how many times I've heard at a gig someone go, "Hey, you mind backing off? You're stepping on my dick, man." Usually when someone's on a cable, they're like, "Hey, you mind backing up? You stepping on my dick, man." So good. He's so funny, and he just takes no shit in this movie. I love this movie. I saw it on Comedy Central all the time, reruns growing up. Chris Farley's awesome in this movie. David Arquette, Joe Montana is great in this. Alan Covert, he's like one of the Adam Sandler's like best friends and is in all of his movies. He plays the cop who has like the standoff with Pip outside, it's funny. But this movie was directed by Michael Lerman, something like that. And he did Hudson Hawk. So maybe that's the Die Hard connection. I don't know, because that was just a few years after Die Hard, a couple of years actually.
There's none of that gimmicky Milli Vanilli in here.
No, and Brendan Fraser's like long hair is wild.
He's so dreamy. He's so dreamy.
With the long
you've
hair.
got some of the best acting. I mean, I love Brendan Fraser. I'm being a little silly here, but one of the best scenes in this movie, I feel like, is just you feel the urge. The desire, the motivation of Brendan Fraser to make it, and he talks about how Tommy Lee hustled to get where he was at. But he's got this very lonely moment where he eats a burrito and he's got the water gun that they filled with hot sauce and he's shooting that shit. But he's like he's got this long locks going back. He's like, man, I just want to make it. And then, the very righteous thing of wiping his record contract using his record contract as toilet paper and wiping his ass with it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And it's hard to find. I had to, because we didn't find this streaming anywhere, right?
No, it's not streaming anywhere.
No, and so
some rights
I had
issue
to pick up
apparently.
this dual PCU Airheads. This is just regular standard DVD. This shit cost me like $35 on Amazon.
Wow.
This was a pricier piece of physical media. But I'm glad I have it now.
Yeah.
Who knows where you'd be able to see Airheads anymore?
Yeah, and I was able to get a DVD from Orbit DVD. They're from, I believe, North Carolina, but I buy from them all the time. This is a free promotion for them because I love Orbit DVD. They've always had a great stock, and they ship stuff really well, which is important when you're shipping fragile.
For me, that's
discs.
always I am so spoiled by Prime. Like I want it tomorrow. Like
Orbit
I want to
DVD
watch
ships
it now.
fast. It ships
Do they?
faster than
That's often been some
Unless
of
you
my
do a
issue
pre-order.
with some of the other
Is your
more boutique places.
being
is 'cause
impatient.
and it's strictly my impatience, not
Yeah,
their
well-
quality or not their service.
I think maybe stop that. So this is fun, a fun connection between these two movies. I had a fun day. Again, yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've podcasted. I watched this movie a couple of weeks ago, but it was my second pick is a great double feature with Airheads, Wayne's World, Extreme close up. Yeah, this is 1992. Fucking classic. Mike Myers, Dana Carvey, gorgeous Tia Carrere, Rob Lowe, just a great sleazy bad guy. He would pretty much play the same fucking role in Tommy Boy
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the next year or a couple of years after. But I mean, yeah, it feels silly even saying the story of Wayne's World. I mean, it's two guys running a public access show. If you've never seen Wayne's World, just look up an SNL skit on YouTube of Wayne's World, and it was just a fun, funny, very of that generation. And it was one of those, like, SNL is always trying to chase being trendy, but every now and then it really was like it had its finger on the pulse of what young people were into, and Wayne's World very much felt like that in the early 90s. Mike Myers was just just every fucking person in the early 90s would just went crazy for Mike Myers. I mean, it's a reason, like Shrek is kind of like his legacy now, but pre-Shrek, I mean, there was a reason he was, one of the biggest comedians.
That and So I Married an Axe Murderer.
I love So I Married an Axe Murderer.
I miss pre-Shrek Mike Myers sometimes.
Yeah, Austin Powers, classic. I mean, he would really create characters, and much to his detriment later on, I think. But his character work in Wayne's World is great. It's a very sweet and endearing, and he takes this kind of like silly rock fan stereotype, and makes him like sarcastic and just a lot of fun to watch. I love this movie.
Austin.
He's always pushing his hair
his
back. So I don't know if that was like his real hair or a wig. It looks like a wig, but and then Dana Carvey. This is some of Dana Carvey's best work is coming up with the character of Garth. Garth is the best.
Garth is my spirit animal.
He's the heart of the movie.
Live in the now.
I love Garth, the way he is like shy, and even though he's this, you find out that he's actually like a really talented drummer. He just acts so quiet and unsure of himself, but he has these like fantasies with this total babe that he loves. That's one of my favorite scenes when he does the Foxy Lady.
I love it when
dance.
he's operating on the hand, the like little robot hand.
Yeah. Garth is great, but this was another kind of like Airheads.
We fear change.
Like Airheads, I think it's it's kind of like an anti-establishment, young people anti-establishment rock and roll movie, which would feel so ridiculous and silly these days.
I was about to say, I mean, you get this a little in Airheads too,
Mhm.
but what happened to the anti-establishment?
Yeah,
Everyone wants to go mainstream now. We used to not want to go mainstream.
yeah, it's crazy, and even like Wayne's World, the whole story is centered on basically someone with money coming in to try to sponsor and take this public access show that does really well as like a cult classic. To like take it and turn it mainstream.
Today, anyone would fucking go apeshit for that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's you see that with like podcasts getting picked up by big, corporations and networks. It's crazy how much time has changed. Like, that, and maybe that's why there's not really that rebellious rock and roll spirit in rock as much anymore.
Yeah, we're not getting these like music centric or you take whatever craft you want centric movie about being anti this or that. There's not anything really exciting about going like getting a corporate sponsorship.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But as Chris did brilliantly in the opening of the show, there's some great sight gags, like when they invite the owner of the company that is now sponsoring Wayne's World, and Wayne has a bunch of pieces of paper with insults written on them that he's holding up to the camera, like this man has no penis. It's great, and it's Bill Murray's brother, right? Isn't it
Brian Doyle Murphy, right?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's definitely another relic of its time, when you watch it. But it's great. Penelope Spheris directed this. Its legacy, even if its legacy was just the Bohemian Rhapsody in the opening, like in the first 5 minutes of the movie, what a legacy. That's classic. Just that alone. But in the quotes, I mean, gosh, game on and game off, like that. We used to do that all. Like game on. Used to do it all the time in our neighborhood.
Marriage is a punishment for shoplifting in some countries.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Russell. I believe I ordered the hand job.
Garth has a dog that has a wig, makes him look like Garth. I love that.
And I love this partially because I lived in Milwaukee for a hot second.
Nice.
But the Alice Cooper Milwaukee speech,
yeah,
about it meaning Algonquin for the good life.
And this whole band, they're like all scholars.
Well, actually, Garth,
we're not worthy.
I did the exact same thing on this movie that I did with Airheads, because I was just like, man, there's so much forgotten 90s shit in here. I'm just going to shoot through these.
Yeah.
Chia Pets, The Clapper, cable access television, calling someone to turn on a certain channel.
Yeah.
Cassette tapes, the phrase psycho hose beast, the phrase are you mental?
You mental?
Eating, I don't know if this was ever really a thing, and now that I'm of age, I don't know that I would do this, but do you ever go and eat donuts before going out?
No, I don't know anyone who does that.
I would go to the couch is what I would do after eating donuts. Bringing a taser into a club. Tia Carrera, very 90s. Grey Poupon / Grey Poupon jokes.
Yeah.
Is Grey Poupon still around? Do you know?
I have no idea, but those commercials were huge when we were growing up.
Arcade owners.
Mm-hmm.
Cheap car repairs. Claudia Schiffer rating women.
Yeah.
Very nice thing.
Yeah.
Police Academy, CD players, and I just wrote chick books. I don't even know what I was referencing there, but chick books.
Chick books. Interesting. Yeah, I love that. But if Benjamin were an ice cream flavor, he'd be praline's dick. And a very 90s thing, the sphincter says what? What?
So 90s, having a socialist mayor?
Yeah. Sha, and monkeys might fly up my butt.
Sha.
It's a great movie.
The only other note I have on this is I want Laura Flynn Boyle so badly.
And she's always in almost every movie that I've seen her in is a smoke show. And I forget every time that she is the lame ex-girlfriend that Wayne hates. That's
the
crazy.
Annoying girlfriend is just nuts.
It's so good. And she's genuinely funny in it. And Tia Carrere, I mean, is fantastic. And Tia's version of, the Ballroom Blitz fucking slaps.
Yeah. Before I fired my researcher, this movie made a shit ton of money.
Is it a hit?
It had a $20 million budget, and it made $183 million worldwide. 14-week run in the movie theaters. Still, I guess, according to the Book of Wikipedia, still the highest grossing movie based on an SNL sketch.
Yeah.
Still.
This was the problem. Wayne's World, as much as I give it credit, you also kind of have to blame it for the deluge of shitty SNL movies, that they just threw out because they were chasing that. I mean, Wayne's World 2 was immediately greenlit and shot and released a year after, like 1993.
It's crazy how fast that came out.
And not with Penelope Spheris. It was a different director. And Wayne's World 2, I like it, but it's definitely not as good as the first one. It shows that they kind of pushed it out.
As a child, I liked the second one better. As an adult, I like the first one better.
I will say the Chris Farley line that lives rent-free in my head is we would always do at gigs. If someone was asking about backstage, we go, hey, a lot of guys' girlfriends are backstage. A lot of guys' girlfriends are backstage. Christopher Walken. That's my girlfriend. Okay.
All right. So what? Who
So
are you taking? Who are you taking?
which of the dynamic duo am I picking? Well, I need a drummer, so I will be picking Garth. We see him play drums in one scene where he's going to. It's like a Guitar Center. I can't remember if it's an actual branded music store,
Just make
but
sure there's no stairway.
yeah, they have a rule. No stairway, which is a great rule because that still plagues music stores to this day. I walk in and hear someone playing Stairway to Heaven.
Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that sign in a music store? I've never been in a guitar store.
I've never seen it. No, I bet
Dude, I'm surprised there's
should.
not that sign in more
We're
music
getting
stores.
older. But yeah, Garth Algar is going to be the drummer. So in my head, what happens is Floyd Pepper, the bass player to Electric Mayhem, he was there that day that Garth showed his drum shops at that store, and he confused Garth for a Muppet, so he invited him to be a part of his band.
Nice.
Now we got drums, we got bass. We're cooking.
Well, we're in the final round here. Pick number 3 for myself. This is the only movie where I will audibly sing all of the songs. Alone with people, I sing every word of this soundtrack. For good reason. It is actually my favorite Coen Brothers movie.
Ooh.
My number 1 Coen Brothers movie, just as a personal favorite. It's not No Country for Old Men. It's none of the serious ones. It is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? This movie... Man, I love this movie so much. And it is one of those movies I could watch every day for the rest of my life and probably never get tired of it. This came out whenever I was in high school and I was cleaning theaters at that point in time. This movie ran in theaters so long. I mean, it was around for it felt like it was 6 months or so. And I think in the actuality, the number is like 17 weeks or something like that. But my God, this movie was around so long. And arguably, the soundtrack became a little more... I think this entire movie and this entire soundtrack is a bit forgotten today. However, early 2000s, man, this was all over the place. I believe this won Album of the Year. Not soundtrack, not score. This one Album of the Year, which is just nuts. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? We've got George Clooney, John Turturro, Tim Blake Nelson, John Goodman, Holly Hunter, Chris Thomas King, Charles Durning in his second appearance as Pappy O'Daniels, and they go on an odyssey to find the lost treasure. And from the start, I'm just into this movie. You've got the Chain Gang at the very beginning. You got the old school Touchstone Pictures logo coming across the screen. And it's just this wonderful, this is almost like my favorite type of comedy, this kind of slapsticky, very physical, Buster Keaton-ish type thing that they got going on. But not only that, but man, this is one of the most quotable movies of all times. Right at the beginning, Tim Blake, one of my favorite things, Turturro and Clooney are arguing about who's going to be the leader. That leaves it up to Tim Blake Nelson, and he just goes, all right, I'm with you fellas.
I'm with you fellas.
On account of our abstacles. R-U-N-N-O-F-T. Damn his eyes. Just so many quotes in this movie. But in conjunction with Sweet and Lowdown, the reason that I was listening to... What would you classify this music as? Is this bluegrass?
It's bluegrass.
Bluegrass, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I listened to bluegrass in this because there was the soundtrack. Then they came out, I believe, with another album. Then there was the music... They did a documentary of a concert called
So good.
Down from the Mountain, which I remember renting from Blockbuster.
Such a great concert.
No, can you find this?
I don't know.
Now?
I need to look for it.
I would love to watch this.
Yeah, we got it from Netflix when they were mailing DVDs. That's how we watched it, to date myself. This movie single-handedly revived bluegrass as a genre.
Really?
I mean, it exploded in a way that it hadn't since, the turn of the century. It was number 1 on the charts. I mean, the album was way more successful and has more of a cultural impact even than the movie, even though the movie's great.
So this movie comes out in what, 2000?
Mm-hmm.
By 2004, 2005, I had pretty much finished up my college schooling and was going into grad school. And it was right around that time that Burger King starts using a version of Big Rock Candy Mountain
So weird.
for a national advertising campaign with Hootie. And I had that entire jingle memorized. And so whenever graduate school came up, I was like, I don't want to sing a stupid fucking song from a musical. I want to sing the Tender Crisp Bacon Cheddar Ranch
Hell yeah.
jingle.
Who doesn't?
You've got T-Bone Burnett, who, you know, I can't describe or tell you any of the historical things about T-Bone Burnett or the amazing things that he's done. All I know is that because of this movie, I know that T-Bone Burnett exists.
Dude,
Tell me about T-Bone Burnett.
T-Bone Burnett, he's a fantastic producer, musician, songwriter in his own right. He's from, I want to say he was from Fort Worth, actually. I think he's from Fort Worth. And so he produces this album, and because of how successful it is, just his work on movies alone, he goes from this and does he does Cold Mountain and Walk the Line and Crazy Heart.
Crazy Heart. I forgot about
Yeah,
that movie.
does all those, so is becomes like the movie guy. But then also he does the Raising Sand album in 2007 with Alison Krauss and Robert Plant, getting those two geniuses together. He produced Brandy Carlisle's first album in this time, or at least one of her first albums. So yeah, like he went on a run from 2000 to 2010. It was just incredible, and it became like everyone wanted to work with T-Bone Burnett to produce their albums. He really helped change, the American musical soundscape and helped direct it in a very like rootsier, like bringing roots music with modern techniques. His work stands for itself. He's definitely a character. You should watch interviews with T-Bone.
I'm going to do that this
He's a
weekend. I'm gonna watch
T-Bone
some
Burnett.
T-Bone Burnett
Yeah,
stuff.
you see him and you're like, oh, for sure, that's a T-Bone Burnett. He's got his own, the way he dresses and his vibe, but he's cool.
And yeah, and I'm sorry, but like, Man of Constant Sorrow is such a fucking banger.
It's one of the all-time classics.
Man, and was Man of Constant. They did not write Man of Constant Sorrow for this. It originated somewhere.
They
right?
rewrote it,
Yeah.
I believe. Man of Constant Sorrow is an old, like a hymn, like a spirit.
Because all this stuff has got to be royalty free by this point in time. Yeah.
Yeah. Because and a lot of folk songs started out as royalty free, anyways. Like Man of Constant Sorrow, I think was like 1910 or 1912, something like that. So it would be in the public domain, anyways. But yeah, it's been recorded by. I mean, I think Bob Dylan did a version of Man of Constant Sorrow. Even it's been recorded by just about everybody.
What do you think Timothy Chalamet's version of Man of Constant Sorrow would sound like?
I think it would sound like a beautiful golden angel. He's not.
But
a
yeah,
dapper
you've
man.
also got Roger Deakins doing his thing here. It totally baffles me. This was a follow-up to Big Lebowski.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, Big Lebowski was a fucking failure.
Like box office wise,
I'm sure it's made its money back on
it's
like
huge.
DVDs and stuff, but that was very much a cult thing for a very, very, very long time. And this was the first movie after they did that one.
Mm-hmm.
And this one ran in theaters forever and ever and ever, had a great soundtrack. And I just feel like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is just not counted in the great pantheon of, I mean, every movie's, there's not a bad one, I don't think, but it's never mentioned in the same vein as No Country. And I think Inside Llewyn Davis stole some of its thunder a little bit, because not the same genre of music necessarily, but
adjacent.
it incorporates music in a lot of the same way. Yeah, I think adjacent's a good word for it. You see them very systematically and I think very scientifically following rules of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And showing how they fucking work. Rules of three. Constant examples throughout the siren scene. So, quick little connection on the siren scene. One of the actresses that plays the siren,
Mm-hmm.
so we just went last night. This is a total tangent.
Yeah.
We just went to see Mortal Kombat 2 last night, which in my opinion is a total fart failure of a fucking movie.
It wasn't
great. Not good at all in any way, shape, or form. However, one of the sirens played Sindel in the original sequel to Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
One of the worst movies ever made.
Yeah, which I think is actually better than Mortal Kombat 2, and that's the hill that I will die on this week.
Rewatch Annihilation.
Oh, you don't think I've seen that movie a bajillion times?
Ugh, gross.
Mortal Kombat 2, I can tell you, I will only ever watch one time.
Yeah.
There's no reason to go back to that one.
I
Anyway,
agree.
we're talking about Oh Brother, Where Art Thou. So, as far as my pick goes, I have I could go with Chris Thomas, who sold his soul to
Yeah.
the devil. Lots of options here, but you do have to kind of come back. George Clooney, Everett McGill, is
Just for his
just
head
the
bobbing
centerpiece.
skills.
Head bobbing. He's intelligent. He's articulate.
He's
he
not
cares.
intelligent.
I beg to
He's a
differ. He is
dumbass.
incredibly intelligent. Look at the way he talks. He's
He's pedantic. I love
I
it.
mean, he's driven.
Yeah.
He's very driven. He has personal hair care. I don't want fop, goddammit, I'm a Dapper Dan man. Do you realize how this movie has had a profound effect on my life? To this day, I only use pomade as my hair
that
product,
true?
no matter what. Yeah, no, 100%. I only use pomade.
I did for a little
This
bit.
movie
little
made me a pomade man. So I'm a Dapper Dan man as
damn it.
well. He can take a hit.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily a fighter, but he
No.
can take a hit.
He's got a lot
Holly-
of kids.
He's got a lot of kids, so he's very
A lot of kids.
But and Holly Hunter would argue that he's not bona fide, but I
He's
think
not.
he absolutely is bona fide. Now that being said, Everett is not my pick.
Okay.
No, I'm going with Pete Hogwallop himself, John Turturro, and his little beard where he goes yodelay. So John Turturro playing Pete Hogwallop. Damn his eyes! Is my pick for my third band member. So, which no fucking sense.
you was a horny toad.
Do not seek the. This is an entire podcast of us doing
Yeah.
quotes.
Well, it ain't a
So-
small world, spiritually speaking.
My band, we've got the guy playing the saw from Sweet and Lowdown. Pip, the drummer, also has the van from Airheads. And Pete Hogwallop from Oh Brother Where Art Thou, probably the least musically inclined individual in the
Yeah.
entire movie. Where does Oh Brother land? I mean, you're so musically
Yeah.
inclined, and I know Inside Llewyn Davis is
Yeah,
that's your favorite.
That's my favorite Coen
Right.
Brothers movie, I would say. Oh Brother Where Art Thou is, I mean, it's top tier for me at Coen Brothers, and it was part of the reason that I started playing mandolin. Because
I
mandolins,
started playing it too, but it was mainly because of Nicolas Cage.
yeah, because Captain Corelli.
Yeah, he had a
like,
great
it
one.
just seemed like he had such a good mandolin. It's too small for my hands. Yeah, I mean, I love bluegrass music. I grew up reading the Odyssey, even though I was homeschooled and no one made me. I read the Iliad and the Odyssey without being assigned that in school.
Really?
I know, it's fucking weird.
See, I will now. Back whenever I was that age.
No, I loved reading the Odyssey. And so I love that this was an adaptation of the Odyssey. My favorite thing about it being an adaptation of the Odyssey is allegedly the Coen brothers, anytime anyone asked them, have you read the Odyssey? They would always say no, that they're like, no, but we're familiar with the story. Like that they didn't actually, that they're just familiar with the beats of the story and then just adapted it like that. And I believe that, but it's
Oh no,
still,
100%.
it's so
Because
good.
I'm like, I'm familiar with the Odyssey, and there are points of this time where I'm like, this
Yeah.
is based on the Odyssey.
yeah.
I get it, but yeah, it's very,
Yes.
very broad strokes.
But yeah, no, this movie's special to my brothers and I. We loved it when we were kids. We watched it all the time. We still quote it. I mean, are you in an OFT? Dapper Dan Man, all of that. Probably the most obscure quote that usually makes my brother Chase laugh when the old man's having his prophecy and he's like, I see a cow on the roof of a house.
I serve no man.
So good. So I did a deep dive into this because I was so mad that I couldn't own this on 4K. You can't. I mean, it's hard to find in.
Tell me why, because
Tell
this
me
makes no
why.
fucking sense.
Okay, let's back it up. It's filmed in 1999. Roger Deakins, when he's talking to the Coen brothers, that when they make the movie, they want it to look like the old photographs. So the only way they can figure out to do that is to do it digitally. It was one of the first uses of digital color processing, which now is done in every photo and every video and every movie. But this was pretty cutting edge stuff at the time. And so because of the way that they had to do the transfer of filming it and then transferring that to digital, apparently it makes the 4K process, them converting it back, expensive and not easy to do. And so that's why I guess the studios haven't done it yet. I mean, in Deakins' own words, he said like it would be a very, very hard task. Like he understands.
I own the original DVD. I've got a lot of mileage out of that old ass DVD.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good, and they achieved the effect brilliantly, I think. And you can, they literally the last shot of the movie is it fading to an old photograph. That's what they were going for, and they nailed it. I love this movie. I love the music. I've sang "Man of Constant Sorrow." It shows since I was a kid, probably. I mean, I think that just has lived on forever.
I love the religious aspect of
Yeah,
this movie in my head. So when this movie came out, I was still being required to go to church every single Sunday and every single Sunday night. And on Sunday nights is whenever they would open up the big thing and have all the baptisms. And so my favorite things in this movie is the idea that you're baptized, you're absolved of all your
yeah.
crime. At the very beginning of the movie, they go down by the river to pray.
Such a good song.
They get, I can barely say it without laughing, but he gets baptized, and Pete Hogwald just says, "Well, I'll be a son of a bitch. Delmar's been saved."
Yeah, I love
So
I love it.
every time that they would open up the windows and
Yeah.
have baptisms,
So funny.
and you have to admit, what church I was going
Oh,
to, so you
yeah.
can imagine this there. So they'd be like, hello, my name is Dave, and I accept. They would have it written across the
the
bottom
video.
of the thing, just because you can't remember you're giving your life to Jesus Christ right now.
Yeah,
It's my name is Dan, and I am giving my life to Jesus Christ. And so every time they would dunk somebody, they would come back. In my head, I would be like, "Well, I'll be a son of a bitch. Dan's been saved."
I love Tim Blake Nelson's earnestness. The preacher says all my sins have been washed away.
Like that Piggly Wiggly, I knocked. And then and the other part of it is you got he's a stand-in for like every big ass like Republican GOP blah blah blah
Yeah.
these days that stands behind Christ and all this. But you got John Goodman as Big Dan Teague, a Bible salesman. He's a man of large appetite, but he hates speech during gestation because it's coarse and vulgar. See, and he's gonna see you in the funny papers, man.
I love John Goodman in it.
Major heat check for him, man. He's in that movie just for like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
like maybe 10 minutes.
The Bible
but
salesman who also
very lasting impression.
moonlights as a Ku Klux Klan member.
That's right. Shit. Alrighty, so you are taking us home, as
Yeah.
they would say in the wrestling industry. Take us home.
Do they
Clint.
really say that in the wrestling?
Yeah, when you're in the match
Okay.
and you're communicating back and forth, whenever time is almost up or when it's time for the agreed upon finish, the referee will relay to the wrestlers, it's time to go home.
Oh my gosh, I am excited to use that with my wife next time we're intimate.
I may have already, not with your
Wait,
wife.
what?
Wait, no, not with your
Podcast
wife. It's got to be,
over.
it's my bowl. It's got to be my bowl.
No. Yeah, see,
You can get a good look. No, hold on.
you got a edit button on that thing? Tommy Boy, that'll be a pick someday. I fucking love that movie. Okay. Now, so my last pick, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think this is a 5-star comedy classic. Another one that failed, quote unquote, at the box office, and now I just think has lived on. Who doesn't know this movie? This is Walk Hard from 2007. This is John C. Riley as Dewey Cox, pretty much like a Johnny Cash, Elvis, but mainly Johnny Cash, but he also dips into Elvis territories and some Dylan.
We're going all over the place.
Yeah. There's scenes in the 60s where he goes through pretty much he's Paul McCartney, he's Bob Dylan, but the core of it is really they pull from the James Mangold movie Walk the Line, which had just come out 2 years prior, had won Oscars, was a huge success. And I do like Walk the Line. It's hard to be excited to rewatch it.
I cannot forgive.
I like it.
Reese Witherspoon. It's
Really?
you can't walk the line.
Wait a second.
Best actress right
I
there.
have a great idea for a song, which I love how they make fun of Walk the Line and Ray, which was the next year. I think
Fucking
I'm
Ray,
pretty sure we
man.
got Walk the Line and Ray almost back.
That was
back to
very,
back.
yeah, they were very close together.
So yeah, so this movie is at its heart. I mean, obviously, walk hard. It's a walk the line is kind of the main target, and it follows Dewey Cox and his rise from responsible for his brother's death into being like one of the biggest, greatest musicians of all time. In case you're confused about what kind of movie you're watching, within the first few minutes, all of that goes out the window. And I know exactly what I'm getting for the rest of this 90-minute movie because it shows Dewey and his older brother going through this montage of riding horses and doing these dangerous things. And while they're doing all these dangerous things, his brother is saying, "Ain't nothing bad gonna happen to me today." But so right away, it's just setting it up like, yeah, we're gonna go there and you're gonna laugh. It's so funny. So they get into it's a machete fight.
I can't.
It's hard to talk about this movie.
It's hard to talk about this movie without laughing. So you're just gonna hear me like whizzing in the background.
It's one of the funniest. It's one of the funniest movies. It's literally a machete fight, even though Pa told him not to fight with the machete.
Well, and the retort should be, "There's nothing wrong with a little machete fight."
Yeah, and so they fight with machetes. And Dewey, not intentionally, but inadvertently, cuts his brother in half, and it literally shows.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And it shows the kid like from the top half up, and he's like, "I don't think I'm gonna make it, Dewey.
I'm cut in half pretty bad, Dewey.
Pretty bad, Dewey. I don't think I'm gonna make it. You got to go on and be the best for both of us." And so Dewey has to live his life, for greatness. And it's so funny because the actors just the secret to comedy is committing and playing it serious. And so
they play it like a dramatic role.
So,
and that's how you do it, man.
The kid's great. The parents, Raymond J. Barry and Margot Martindale. Character actress Margot Martindale for you BoJack fans. They're the mom and dad, and Raymond J. Barry's so fucking funny. And I probably once a week, I mean, at least at like every gig with my band, one of us says, "Wrong kid died." Because he just keeps telling Dewey throughout the whole movie that he wishes that Dewey had died, and I was like, "Wrong kid died." And it's so funny. And eventually Dewey is also technically responsible for his mother dying in hilarious fashion. It starts with a child being cut in half, and it never slows down. It just is absurd thing after another. And John C. Reilly plays Dewey as an adult, well, also as a teenager, as he mentions in his first scenes. He's like, "Well, I'm just a 14-year-old boy." And he does like an Elvis Presley like moment on stage where he comes out and starts singing, and all of the girls go crazy. What's the song he sings? It's like, "I want to hold your hand." I think he wants to. It's something about like holding your hand, and all the girls are freaking out and dancing. And this priest stands up. Oh, it's called "Take My Hand." And this priest stands up and he's like, "Who uses their hands? The devil." And he uses them for holding. And then Kristen Wiig, who plays his, at the time, 12-year-old girlfriend, she says, "I'm just Dewey's 12-year-old girlfriend." And he goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Am I really your girlfriend?" He goes, "Yeah, I pointed at you from the stage." like those are the rules. And then we go to Dewey being, he's a janitor at the nightclub that is, it has an all black band, and Craig Robinson plays the singer of this all black band, and he can't sing one night, and so Dewey replaces him. I mean, I can't even talk about it without laughing. It's so fucking funny. John C. Reilly gets up there, and the whole crowd is black, and he code switches into talking what he thinks a black person is supposed to talk like, and he goes, "Oh, this next song I'm finna do," and everyone's eyes go wide, and then he goes into singing a song called "You Got to Love Your Negro Man." And John C. Reilly commits, and it's so ridiculous. He does like the very Johnny Cash send up of recording a song that he wrote in a fight with his wife. So Kristen Wiig, who every time you see her, she has more babies and kids around her, like crying.
That's right.
Kind of like what you're talking about, Reese Witherspoon, that you can't walk the line. Like, he's like, "I will walk hard."
I will walk on.
And he looks up, and she's like, "Oh no, don't you dare, Dewey. Don't you write a song while we're in the middle of fighting." It's so good. And so he has this like Folsom Prison moment. He goes in the studio with his band, who is Chris Parnell and Tim Meadows and Dan Hesser.
Meadows. I love Tim Meadows.
This is a god tier performance from Tim Meadows, who has maybe the funniest recurring bit, where on one of their
My favorite bit of this movie is the
The drugs.
Tim Meadows
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, the Tim Meadows drugs.
You don't want any part of this, do we?
Yeah, it's reefer. The first time it's marijuana, like in the
But
backstage.
it's cocaine.
Yeah, and then it's cocaine. But yeah, I love he's like, well, I don't want to get addicted to anything. It's non-habit for me.
You feel
Yeah.
good.
Well, I don't want it to affect sex or anything. It makes sex better. That's another one. I feel like every band I've ever sat in with, we do that all the time. You don't want none of this shit. You don't want none of this shit, Clint. Like, wait, what is it? It's Viagra, eventually. But Tim Meadows is so funny. My favorite, because I couldn't possibly, it would take me an hour to talk about everything that I love in this movie. My favorite Tim Meadows moment is after Dewey has his Paul McCartney-esque, like, world music thing, and he just won't stop tinkering with the songs. His band is gonna leave him, and Tim Meadows, like, Chris Parnell has, like, he's like, you've confused me sexually, and then like Dan Hesser's like, yeah, you made me trade wives, and I didn't want to trade wives, Dewey. And then Tim Meadows keeps interjecting with, yeah, and you never once paid for drugs. Not once. And like, no matter what any of the other guys says, it keeps coming back to Tim Meadows going, and you never once paid for drugs. I die laugh. It's one of the funniest line readings.
I have on a number of occasions told somebody that I need to think about my life before I do that. And I may or may not have just at some point in life multiple times said, I'm ready for sex.
And by that, I mean a penis in my vagina.
Sometimes I'm on a date and I'll just say, you know, prison and rehab has changed my life.
Sure, the ladies love that.
Yeah.
Jenna Fisher as Darlene is so good.
I wrote down Sexual Awakening number 1331.
Is Jenna Fisher.
Is Jenna Fisher in this movie?
Their song "Let's Do It" should be an Oscar-winning song.
This movie should have won a fucking Oscar.
It's crazy.
Like this is the one of the most well-crafted pieces of comedy. Not only that, but just well-made motion picture that maybe today may be recognized a little bit. But my God, this is a 5-star movie through and throughout. And yeah, I go. What won Best Picture this year?
It's 2007. It's an insane movie year. Going back to the Coen brothers. This is the There Will Be Blood, No Country for Old Men year.
Shit. Well, maybe it would have won that year, but
no, but it should have been like the songs should have been nominated. It's crazy that the music would be so good. And John C. Reilly, who is an accomplished musician and a good singer, he does all of the songs. He does all the singing. He does all of his own playing.
They wrote every fucking
and they
song
wrote
in
all
this thing
they wrote
and performed it, right?
Yes, yeah. Even Jenna Fisher singing on their Let's Do It. In my dreams, you're blowing me some kisses. That's one of my favorite things to do.
Favorites.
Yeah, the movie, it is so effective as a satire of these types of movies that it kind of kills them. Like, once you see Walk Hard, I cannot help but think about this movie anytime I see any music biographical movie.
If I were to ever put Walk the Line back on,
I'd be laughing my ass off.
I'd be like, I just want to watch Walk Hard.
Just make me think of Walk Hard. When he's in rehab, this is one that it's maybe not as popular. Another one, my brother Chase and we like speak through movie quotes to each other. And in rehab, he's like, I'm too hot. He needs less blankets. And then he goes, I'm too cold. He needs more blankets. And then he goes,
right.
Well, now I'm too hot and I'm cold at the same time. And then that cuts to the nurse going, he needs more blankets and less blankets. It's so good. And this is one of those, they really need to do a 4K of this next year for the 20th anniversary. We need this on physical media again. The Blu-ray is so fucking expensive. But the bonus features on the DVD and the Blu-ray were so good. There's an extended version of the movie that is fucking hilarious. It just
I bought this on Apple, so I don't even know.
I don't think they do the extended version.
Weirdly enough, I love this fucking movie. I've only watched it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
It's not one that I've gone back to a lot. And I don't know if it's because it's so fucking perfect.
Yeah. I get that. When you don't, I mean, you see it once and it burns itself into your brain.
Like, I want to watch it right now, though. Like,
man, all the little moments. Harold Ramis is in it as well. There's another connection between Airheads.
That's right.
He's the Yiddish record label executives. You know, this is the other thing is the movie. It has aged well. A lot of the offensive jokes that it pulls, it's not punching down. And there's some deleted scenes. You can find them on YouTube, but he has a commercial where he has his own breakfast sausage.
Shit,
Yeah.
I gotta look that up.
It ain't Cox unless I say it tastes like Cox.
John C. Reilly is a national fucking treasure. Homeboy,
Yeah.
can we please give him something soon? Come on.
God, he's so funny. So funny. So, walk hard, I will be picking Dewey Cox to round out my band.
As you should.
John C. Reilly sounds like a Muppet. I think if he was talking to Floyd Pepper, like, yeah, I play guitar. Like, Floyd Pepper,
That's a good one.
Floyd Pepper would be like, oh, this guy's a Muppet. Hell yeah. So, I think Dewey Cox and Garth Algar and Floyd Pepper from the Muppets, that's a band I would go see.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. What's your first single?
You Gotta Love Your Negro Man. They just revised. It's the remix. Man, God, yeah, I'm gonna be listening to that.
Mine's gonna be
all day.
A Man of Constant Sorrow, but spelled SAW. Sorrow, yeah.
It's gonna light up the charts. All right, well, those are our picks for the bands. We're putting the band back together. You really got to see Blues Brothers,
Hell
bro.
yeah. I feel like I am more musical as a result of this episode.
You should be.
And your depth of knowledge and yeah.
This is the cross section for me. The music, for like funny movies and music intersecting. I'm like, that's
no, absolutely. Whenever
that's my shit.
I don't think there's a yoga equivalent to the movies. In fact, just recently there was a yoga depiction in a movie where I'm like, what in the fuck are we doing? But we'll find that cross point for me at some point in time.
Yeah. We almost got there with the narcissistic assholes.
Yeah, very close, very close.
All right. Well, thanks for sticking around, everybody who listened to this whole episode. Whoever you are, identify yourselves in the comments. Let us know who you would pick for your bands. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, whatever. Listen on Spotify, Apple Music,
Letterboxd before it gets in shitified.
Yeah, it better fucking not. It better not. But yeah, Letterboxd. Follow us, Clint T and Beer Yoga Movies.
That's right.
Letterboxd, all the things. See y'all in the next episode. What do we got?
RUNNOFT.
Got a RUNNOFT. Oh, I will walk.
We're in a tight spot.
I will walk hard. We'll see you next episode for long gap sequels. Movies that took way too long to make sequels.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like those long gaps. You love a good one. Yeah.